And they started this organization basically because Sean was doing a lot of activism in the world, and she had a community around her, and she had a platform for this work that she was doing. And she thought, why not tap into this community that's easily accessible to me to make a difference in the world? Because she understands that this work cannot be done alone, that as a group we're so much more powerful. So Hala and Suzanne are two other women. Hala's a somatic therapist and a yoga teacher, and Suzanne is an ecstatic vocalist. So what they do is they do intensives. They teach intensives about helping people, just like you and me, to find your purpose in the world and to put it to action. So what is it that you're passionate about, and how can you go out into the world and be of service in a way that's sustainable for you? So I've gotten really involved with this organization, and I'm now the regional ambassador for Denver and Boulder for Optimizing the World, and I teach leadership trainings myself, and I travel with Sean and with Hala to assist with Optimat as they go around and do these 5-day intensives. So that's one piece of it. The other piece is the Seva Challenge. And the Seva Challenge is why you're here. The Seva Challenge is, basically they put out a challenge and they say, sign a letter of intention saying that you're going to raise $20,000. And if you raise that $20,000, you go on a service trip. So last year they went to Cambodia, and this year the trip is to Uganda. And that's what I'm raising the money for. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about where the money goes so you know where your donation today goes. So there's 3 organizations mainly that we'll be working with in Uganda on the trip. So it's Shanti Uganda, New Hope School, and Building Tomorrow. And also with Youth Aid, so I'll talk a little bit about that too. So Shanti Uganda is an organization, and their project is building an eco-friendly birthing center for women. The HIV epidemic has impacted Uganda in a big way, and many of the women are giving birth to HIV-positive children and struggling to bring in income for themselves. So this center will be a birthing center, and also they're going to develop a midwifery program so that these women can have a sense of income, they can bring in money, and also have a safe environment for these children coming into the world. So part of the money goes to that organization, Shanti Uganda. And then there's Building Tomorrow, which is building a school. So the government basically will pay for teachers to come in and teach the students, but the problem is that they don't have a building, they don't have a structure, and they don't have the money to build it. So some of the money goes to building the school and to having a sustainable garden as well to help to feed the community around the school. And then New Hope School is basically an orphanage where they have children from various ages, 3 years old up to teenagers. And it's a small facility and they have very few beds, and so the children are having to share beds. And when Sean was there, she goes and checks out these places and talks to the organizations themselves to see what they need. And the one thing that they said that they need was new mattresses, because the children soil the mattresses and they're all sharing the same mattress. So some of the money goes to provide mattresses for this organization. And then Youth Aids, Sean is an ambassador for Youth Aids, and she will be working with them, just learning about the AIDS epidemic and how it has impacted the culture. So 80% of the money raised goes to these 3 organizations in Uganda. 20% comes back to the US and goes to local and national initiatives that Optimat is putting on, including a Teaching Yoga to At-Risk Youth program. So this program is about encouraging yoga teachers to teach in environments where people do not normally receive the benefits of yoga, such as juvenile hall or a homeless shelter or something like that. And the whole premise of Optimat is for this work that we do in the world to be sustainable. And what they know is that we all want to volunteer our time, but there comes a point, especially when we're working in at-risk environments, where it starts to wear on us. And this is so that these teachers can have a little bit of money, $35 or whatever it is per class, to just make it sustainable so they stay motivated to keep working, to keep doing what they're passionate about. Because even when there's the best intentions, sometimes it's hard to keep going, especially if you're making long trips, and that's what I mean. So what I'm actually doing in Boulder, I'm working with another teacher, and we're developing a program at a center for girls that come in, they've gotten in trouble for whatever reason. They come for 6 to 12 months and stay there. So we're starting a yoga program at this facility. So my hope is that some of the money that I'm actually raising will come back into this program that I'm involved in Boulder. So 20% of the money comes back directly to the US for that. So that's where all of your money is going today. So I want to thank you so much for supporting the women and the children in Africa, and for supporting these teachers that are doing amazing things here in this country. So that's the journey about where the money goes. And then I'm going to tell you a little bit about me and why I'm participating and what this is about for me. So I've known Sean for a little over a year, and I set the intention that I wanted to do the Seva Challenge. And I knew so in January I was going to start it. And what I found in my own life is that when I set an intention, the universe is usually going to put something there that says, okay, I'm going to put your first test right in front of you and see So I made that intention in January, and immediately Gil and I lost a very close friend of ours, passed away. And this was a close friend of ours that did amazing work in the world, so when he passed away, they had services for him in Chicago, and Japan, and Hawaii, and Mexico. He had touched so many people's lives. So I decided that my journey on the Seva Challenge is in dedication to his memory. So my